Okay, I've done my sanding here. I'm going to show you a little bit. I'm going to wipe this a little and see how the copper comes back again. And there's the oxide. You can see that's just copper oxide. And now it's not critical to get this off. We could take a hose, try to smooth it off. I'm just going to wipe it off with a rag. If I leave a little powder on, it's no problem. This is copper oxide. We mix it with the copper we're putting on. It just goes back onto the thing. I just want to make sure that I don't have lumps and stuff, so I'm going to sand it off. Now as we do it, we see here's a little of our original blue here showing. Here's a little bit here. Now the bad news is we're down to the original coat. The good news is this is getting smoother and smoother. Why did this come off? Because it was just a little high here. So now when we put this coat on, this boat bottom is getting better every year, because every year I get little things like this, where little imperfections. Probably from when they manufacture it, when they did the mold. It's not perfect when they do them originally, so you can see that. The other thing is we've got an interesting picture of the old bottom where we sanded it, and you'll see it's dappled. It looks kind of like a dappled horse, little rings on it. What that means is that when they rolled that finish on, they used a thick nap roller, and that roller, even though it looks smooth, actually had little matting wads on it, and it had little higher and lower spots. So when you sanded it, you saw where it was slightly higher, very small amount being higher. But what that creates is little eddies, which create suction on your boat. Now we know that the speed of a boat like this is limited by its hull length, and depending on the shape of the boat, it's either 1.28 or 1.35, somewhere in there, times the square root of the hull length is the maximum speed you can get out of this boat hull. Because when this bow wave hits the stern, it starts sucking the entire ocean behind it as it tries to fill the hole in the water this boat made. The only way to go faster is to rise up out and hydroplane. This boat hull isn't designed to hydroplane, so we aren't going to be able to do that. But some of the newer boats, the J80s and some of the new designs that are going for the Volvo Cup, etc., will hydroplane at speed and they'll lift themselves out. Not so with this one. But the other thing is, if you have little tiny eddies that are created by your boat bottom, each one of those creates a little suction for you, and you're overpowering that. But if you can remove all those little suctions, those little eddies and backwaters, you can pick up speed and performance you can feel. Not at your top speed, but when you're going for a very light wind, get a little puff to start being able to go through the water faster. That's where you're going to really notice a difference by having your boat real smooth. Anyway, I'm going to wipe this down. When I finish wiping it down, I'm going to start sanding again. I'm going to get the keel, I'm going to get the rest of it. I'm going to use my little sponge to get right along this line here, because when I tape it, I want to be able to get right up to it, not have it peel off. There's a little danger here when you have this copper Teflon and you try to put a paint over it. We did some experimenting, and we found that we've got a couple spots where we coated over intentionally over the copper Teflon, and we got a few little chips that happened because of this urethane blue stripe, which has Teflon in it, went over it, and we get a little bit of let go on it as a result. So not ideal, but one of my philosophies is it gets better and better each year. You have less and less problems each year. We do the best we can this year, but we're not going to spend a lifetime on it. This is kind of fun. We're getting ready for the racing. We want to get it in the water. Next year it's going to be better. The year after it's going to be even better. Maybe next year we'll put a blue stripe on. But this year all we're going to do is try to get this bottom nice and smooth, but get the copper on it so we don't have things growing on it. And then after I get this bottom all on, I'm going to show you how to take care of it a little bit during the year so you keep some of the slime off of it. So back to sanding.